Welcome, Highfalutin Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 214. It is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
Not much. Chugging away here in quarantine and in Florida in the non-quarantine. This is the land of lawlessness, as everybody's heard on the news, because the news tells everything that's truthful, right? Which is total shit, because it's really not that bad down here.
Well, I guess where you are isn't as bad, but other places, I guess, was it Tampa or was it I guess Miami was the worst spot, right?
Miami's probably
Florida.
the worst spot, but anywhere you get a lot of people that come in and out, like to the country, and Miami is a big place where people come in and out, is just and it's a vacation place. I mean, even here is pretty, here, Orlando, anywhere you get people from around the country coming to see shit,
Mm-hmm. Didn't Disney World just open this week?
They just opened up. This is the time.
Yeah.
I went to the Clearwater is redoing the aquarium here. So I just went to the aquarium last week, and it was great. They like social distance. You got to like book a time to get in. It's all very civilized. Like, it's not crowded. You get to see everything. You move in, you move out. And it's like, it's the way humans should treat each other, So it was kind of cool.
Interesting.
And now that we got the stigma, there's a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to go down to Florida. I'll get COVID. And I'm like, good. We get less people on the beach. That's fine.
We actually have friends who went down there a few weeks ago to get out of this area. They have family in the Miami area. They took an auto train from New Jersey. I forget where, maybe Pennsylvania. I forget where the auto train leaves from, because there's only one.
Right.
And they took it from up here down to some weird town in Florida near Orlando, I think. So you bring your own car, and they booked a private, chambers, quarters, whatever you call it, on the train. So they were in their chambers the whole time, which is only like 2 days. It's not that long of a time. Then you get into your car and you go. So it's kind of it's not a bad way to do it.
No.
The problem is they got down there, and our friend's mother went to the dentist, and the dentist tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
She, her husband, their 2.5-year-old son, and her dad all got sick, and her dad's still in the hospital.
Wow.
And I think it's because of the fucking dentist. So
damn,
it really says, just don't go to the fucking dentist, man. If there's one thing you're going to blow off during the pandemic, it's going to him, her, dentist.
All about I know you're just playing all the numbers about being in contact with somebody or something being there. I've been a dentist twice already since they reopened. And it's very like, the dentist I go to is like, it's a nice dentist. They were like, you wait in the car, they come get you, and they call you, and you come from the car to go in, like, because they don't want anybody in the waiting room. You go right into the room, you get your cleaning done. I had to get a deep cleaning done, so I had to go back another time. And it was all fine, but I was still a little weary. I was like, somebody has COVID in here. So I went right when they opened, because I'm like, I want to make sure that I get in before the COVID people get in there.
I just picture you having like just multiple cans of Lysol, like just spraying as you walked, like.
My germophobia is doing well. I mean, I like the fact that I'm a little more cautious.
Paying dividends right now. Yep.
Everybody's trying to catch up to me right now.
That's right. You're living in 2022. We're also back in 2019.
There have been many times I've sat on a plane, and Melanie knows this. I've looked at her and been like, I really wish I had a mask on right now.
Ugh.
Because there's people that smell or coughing or sneezing on the plane, and you're like, I just don't want it. Maybe I won't get sick. I just don't want their germs.
Yeah. I think the worst thing in this whole pandemic is that everyone is starting to make up their own rules. So you see some people with masks, some people with their nose hanging out of their mask, some people with gloves, some people without gloves. Like, everyone's just goes, oh, well, I heard this, so I'm going to do this. And it's rare that people are revisiting what's the latest information, because for a while, it's just like after a disaster happens. Like, think about 9/11. It was like, oh, another plane hit the White House, another plane hit this and did that. It's like, well, everyone just started, they couldn't fact check. They just heard something. They stuck with it. They started telling everybody else, and it becomes kind of craziness. But it's same thing with this. Like, oh, I heard in April that you should do this and do this, and
Yeah.
it's like, and the WHO, the CDC, the president, everybody, they've all kind of changed their narrative a few times during this.
It's really just a weird time, man.
I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. I just raw dog it. Just go with nothing. I just go naked. It's just easier to go naked.
I just do full on. I wear the mask all the time. I don't wear gloves. I'm not that like super sensitive.
Well, they say the gloves can cause cross contamination, which is
yeah,
one of the worst things you could have happen.
People think I have gloves. I could touch anything with it. It's like, yeah, you just touch this and then you touch that. Like I see like people like handle like, at the supermarket, they have the gloves and like they pack the bag for you. I'm like, I don't know. You haven't washed those gloves or changed them. So they're doing no good. They're just not getting on your hands. So,
yeah.
Hey, whatever. I think it's also just responsible. Like I protect myself, but I also protect somebody else, or at least make somebody else feel at ease. It's fine. It's a little courtesy. But I see people, the best is they have the mask right around their chin, like a beard. It's like, oh, you just don't want to wear it. But now it's like you have to wear them in the stores here right now, which they're trying to fight. There's a big lawyer that's trying to fight civil rights now to not have to enforce mandatory wearing of masks, which whatever. Might as well spit in each other's mouths then, I guess.
Just making lawyers rich, people. That's all we're doing.
I mean, I understand what the point, but at this time you want to push that point. Like, is it really important when the numbers are going up to push that point? So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
I go back and forth too. Like I try to be courteous. I'll wear my mask whenever I'm in a store or whatever. But then yesterday I went to the beach and I saw people walking on the beach with their masks. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. We're outside. They're like, UV light kills the virus. Like, that's one thing we do know. It's like, and guess where UV light comes from? The fucking sun. And you're on the fucking beach. You're going to get some UV killing stuff.
If anything, they're keeping the bacteria in their mask, not hitting the sun. They should be laying their mask out in the sun.
Yeah. And it's funny, I say that like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, which obviously I don't know, but
not a doctor.
That's what I've heard. That's what I heard in April.
That's what I heard in April.
I heard in April.
I heard on CNN.
Exactly. It's got to be right. Listen, I get all my news from Joe Rogan. He said UV light, take some vitamin D, you'll be fine.
Well, they're selling UV lights like crazy now. Like those little wands to sanitize. I was like, I was flipping through the channels. I was watching HSN and they had the little UV light. And it's like, oh, the pocket one, you take it out, you could sanitize everything. I'm like, it looks like a great gimmick, but you're not going to take it out every time and sanitize everything. So
have they come out with a UV light dildo yet?
It's coming. It's probably in the works.
I like what you did there. I like what you did there. It's like I'd just get one for the front. You just let yourself up. You're like, this is going to kill it from the inside. Isn't that what Trump was talking about? He was talking about UV light dildos.
UV dildos. UV dos. It's like the room dough.
The room dough. God damn it. That I don't know why, but I was laughing my ass off about that day.
You're like,
it was a simpler time, folks. Go back to episode, what was that, like 13, 14?
It's like ass to ass. You're ass to ass. You're that guy.
Simpler times. Yes. But we're here today. We're marching on. We're powering on. Thank you so much for listening. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We are on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Ski Bum Podcast. Our favorite social media app, Untapped. We are there. We're there separately. Ski Bum Podcast is Mario. Ski Bum Brian is me. Check that out. Ski Bum Brian. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. I always said Twitter already. Stitcher. What's iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. We're blowing up. Good things are happening. So thank you so much for checking out. Also, you have a shop. People have been buying stuff in the summer, which has been awesome. skibumpodcast.com/shop. If you want to help us out, you want to subscribe and rate us, that would really help. And as well, we have our support tab. We're trying to do a few new things. We hope to have Patreon set up this fall, but we have our PayPal set up. So it's on the support section on the site, skibumpodcast.com/support. If you want to hook us up, help us out, we'd appreciate that. But we do appreciate you listening. And if you want to hit us up, send us an email. Hate mail, love mail. We've getting them both. So
We finally get
podcast
a little bit of hate now. It's
Ski
kind of
bum,
feels nice.
skibumpodcast@gmail.com. It just means people are listening. And you know what? I'm sick of being told how wonderful we are. It's nice to hear people giving us a little bit of criticism, because you know what? I think with criticism, it makes us think. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I think
You
that's
have to have that
something
conversation.
in society. Right now, everyone's got a megaphone and no one's listening. Everyone's just yelling. And I think it's nice to take a step back and to reflect upon what we're talking about and hear others' opinions and see how we're rubbing people. So
Yeah.
if you want to rub us, steveonpodcast@gmail.com. Either way.
Rub away.
Rub away. All right. So with that, Mario, let's kick it off with the app rate today.
All right. So my après today is very special. I actually went to a brewery that they've been open up throughout the whole COVID thing. They did a unique thing is they have their brewery, and then they have their tap room, and across the street is their brewery. And outside of the brewery, on the back side of their brewery, they have this window because the Pinellas Trail where you ride bikes and run is right there. So a lot of people walk or ride the trail and they'll stop for, beer or coffee or something like that. And they actually have both beer and coffee. And now they have like a pizza truck is there. And so they built this whole outdoor area right along the Pinellas, like the bike trail, right up against their their brewery. That's where they actually brew, and they have this big window, and you can order from there. You can't actually go up to the window. You got to reach way far over. It's the most bizarre thing, but I guess to keep a little distance. And you could buy beer there. So I actually went there, and then there was another brewery that we went to, and this was just last week, and I saw this sitting on a table, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have a special?" And they're like, "Yeah, this is one of the ones that we brewed." So this is from Dunedin Brewery, and it's called Local Honey. And here's the bottle. It's a big bottle.
Local Hunt. That's a pretty cool bottle.
It's aged in Chardonnay barrels.
Ooh.
So it is.
What kind of beer is it?
I'm trying to think. They just say aged in. It could be honey. No.
Mead?
Could be mead. I know they do make mead here.
There's a local meadery I found out near me.
Is there?
I gotta check that out.
Well, I can't actually open this with this stupid can opener, with this bottle opener, because it stinks. So I gotta go get another bottle opener.
Oh boy.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, apparently we're gonna have to edit this out because Mario is having technical difficulties with his bottle opener. I don't know if you can see. I can't even see it. I always have a bottle opener. Up there it is on the wall behind me. My wall of power tools and growlers also consists of a Gosling's bottle opener because it's always important to have a backup bottle opener because you never know when one breaks down. You got to have them in your flip-flops, like those Reef flip-flops with the bottle opener. I've noticed a lot of zippers these days. They're starting to put bottle openers on zippers.
This is one of those things. So when I did the Grand Fondo, they give you the metal at the end, and it's actually a bottle opener. And this is the one that fails because just the way it's positioned, it's too thick. See?
Yeah, it'd be too bendy, right? If it wasn't it's any thinner than that, right?
And now I got the regular bottle opener, and this worked. This is the old-fashioned one.
Looks like
it's good note.
Like a Talon, that thing.
Yeah. I'm pouring it into a nice Reitzenhoff glass.
Oh, you've been rocking those a lot lately, huh?
Black and white one with the king. I like this one. King and the queen.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, these glasses are pretty neat. So I gotta look this up because this is not. I think this Agent Chardonnay. I think it might be pale ale. Let's see. So let's see. Oh, Untapped has it already.
Look at that.
Tapped on Untapped. So this is, they just call it a strong ale. So there's not really a classification for it.
Strong ale.
Yeah.
Just
Strong ale American. That's it. Strong American ale. Brewed with raw Florida wildflower honey. They don't have an IBU rating on it, I guess, because it's really mainly honey flavor. 8.3% ABV. Smells like
3%. Wow.
Smells a lot like Chardonnay.
Hmm.
So you can smell a little honey, but I smell Chardonnay there, which is kind of cool because it's a beer that smells like a wine. Oh, this is interesting. This is really good. I taste a little hint of honey. I taste a lot of Chardonnay. I don't taste too much beer. This tastes almost like a carbonated Chardonnay. Not oaky or anything, but not really sweet. Definitely not sweet, but you could tell there's a lot of alcohol in it just from the, I don't know, just the flavor. You can tell it almost tastes like a triple.
Oh wow!
You know how those get a little like
particular yeast flavor that it has.
Yeah, the yeasty. It tastes very like heavy like that.
Okay.
Really good. I'm surprised that they brewed something like this. So they're a local brewery here. Dunedin is a really cool town. There's probably like I'd say a 1 or 2 mile square radius. There's probably like 8 breweries in that little area. And there's a really cool bike trail that goes through there. So I bike up there. It's known for having a lot of festivals, and they have a cool little downtown and stuff. So definitely, Brian, if you come down here, we'll go down there and you're able to sample, like, I think within a few blocks, like 4 or 5 breweries are right there. So, and some really good breweries. They're legit. So
nice. Yeah. I think you've talked about Dunedin a couple times on the podcast, and yeah, the Pinellas Trail there going up into that area, which is great. That's so cool to have that kind of access.
Good find. I mean, if I get another one of these, I'm gonna have to send it to you. Very interesting. Very good. All right, what do you got?
Cool. This summer, I've been talking a lot about my quest for more drinkable, lighter beers because, usually we're always talking about the double IPAs, those monsters that we love so much. And one of the things that I love in a beer in the summertime is I love watermelon. It's one of my favorite goddamn things to eat. I love mixing it into drinks.
Oh, I did, by the way, make, under your advice, a watermelon margarita.
Yes.
They were delicious. Melanie and I had a few of them, and I think we've been eating at least a watermelon a week for the past few weeks.
We have a watermelon that was just cut up yesterday, and there's 2 on the counter right now ready to go. Like, I got to have at least 1 in the reserve, maybe, and then I got 2. Trader Joe's, at least the one by me today, they have a chart on the watermelon box that says like all the different, things to look for in a watermelon. Some people knock on it, some people smell the what is it, like the butthole part of the watermelon. People just have all kind of different techniques, but they were showing if it has that like brownish spot, which I guess that's where it would be sitting on the ground. They said that's a sign of sweetness. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
They were talking about the different patterns in it, like the veins on it, like the darker green, the certain ones. Yeah, they were saying like what everything means. And I'm talking to the guy because they limited the number of people that can go in the store at a time to like 30. So we were all in line waiting to get in. And I'm ready to grab a watermelon. I'm like, I don't like this one. I grabbed a different one. And the guy's like, that one looks kind of weird. Like, want to check out this one here? And I'm like, I'm looking at the chart, and it's got the yellow mark, and that's supposed to be a positive. And the lady behind me is like, yeah. She's like, I've been burned by that chart sometimes. Like, it's such a crapshoot. Like, nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
That's why it's good to have somebody that knows their stuff. If they work there, they're like, these are the good watermelons. So they'll like get you, this is good fruit.
I just want to know what the hell to look for. I try to make sure it's hard and heavy.
I
Those
just
are my
make sure it's
things.
not kicked in, it's not rotting, and then I just buy it and open it up, and either I'm surprised or disappointed.
And what a difference cold watermelon versus room temperature watermelon is.
100%.
Like room temperature, you're like, ugh, this tastes like, I mean, not bad, but it's not
Yeah.
as good as cold. It's got to be cold ass
Like
watermelon.
a summer treat. Like you're out. Like I remember as a little kid, we cut a watermelon up, we'd be out like by the pool and like or running around in a sprinkler and just like whatever. I was probably in like tidy whities running around in a sprinkler and I'm eating a watermelon. I love watermelon. Just eating it,
It's just the
getting cooled off.
goddamn best.
Oh yeah.
It's just the best. And now that we have seedless, I mean, it's not even fair. I mean, people want to bitch about, all the problems we have in the world right now. We have seedless motherfucking watermelons. Like things really aren't that bad. We're going to be all right.
But it's funny, you cut open the seedless the first time, you're like, the fuck, there's seeds in here.
Yeah, right.
There's just like
4 white
pale
ones.
little white ones or one little regular seed.
The Trader Joe's chart, the Trader Joe's chart was showing that
Shorted.
they were showing the difference between a male and female watermelon too.
Really? Is there a penis on one?
Yes, there's just a giant dick that comes out of it when you cut it open.
Jesus.
I don't know how many genders of watermelons there are.
Oh, yes. There could be multiple genders, right?
I don't know if we actually asked the watermelon what its gender was yet. I mean, I think it's really very fair.
Particular type of watermelon. I don't know.
But anyway, watermelon, big fan. And over the last couple of years, I've been trying to find watermelon beers that I like. And the only one that I liked enough to buy Hell or High Watermelon by 21st Amendment Brewing.
Yeah.
But that's a wheat beer, and I don't love wheat beers that much. They're okay.
Taste, I don't know. It's that wheat just, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I try to be a little. I don't know if it's gluten free a word. Is that we're still talking about that kind of crap?
I don't know.
It's the way the wheat gets to me. Like I don't love the way I feel after having a bunch of wheat, whether it's beer or food. But I was in the store a couple weeks ago, and I've talked about in the podcast how I was going to eventually release the beer that I found, tell you guys about it because I did like it so much. And it was kind of a roll of the dice. I was just looking around trying to find something and again, looking for those lighter summer beers. And there's a brewery in New Jersey on the Delaware River called River Horse. And
River Horse Brew.
They're known for their like summer blonde. This is kind of like one of their bigger beers, but they're a pretty decent sized brewery right now. And I saw this beer and I'm like, this checked all the boxes that I was looking for. It was a Kolsch style watermelon ale coming in at a nice low 4.1%.
Nice.
It's called the Watermelon Kolsch.
Oh, nice.
And I got to tell you, this is a perfect summer beer. It's light. I love the Kolsch flavor. That's a Köln, Germany. That's like where they brew that style of beer. And so it's a light, refreshing ale and just a little bit of watermelon flavor. I gave it to Andrea. She's like, I don't taste watermelon. I'm like, really? Like you have like this amazing nose and sense of taste and smell, and you're not getting the watermelon. It's just enough. Like it's not overwhelming. It's not overly sweet. It's not like one of those like Leinenkugel shandies where it's just super sweet. This is
like fake sweetener and fake like flavor to some of those.
I don't know. They'll put all kinds of crazy crap in beer these days. But this one, like this beer, you can have like 5 of them and you're like feeling good. Like they're a great lawnmower beer. They're great sitting outside in the summertime, quarantining, having a party.
It's the heavy machinery beer of choice.
It's the heavy machinery beer of choice. Me and Steve had one of these after mountain biking a few weeks ago in the parking lot illegally. It was great. Like nice. It's just just a nice summer refreshing beer.
That's good.
Yeah. So I love this beer. Like I bought 3 or 4 6-packs of it. So I should be set for the summer, I think.
Nice. Yeah. The having something a little bit lighter is good. So yesterday we were tailgating in a parking lot, before hockey tryouts. Let's put it that way. And
that sounds like that one. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they're tailgating the guys from the pub are trying out for the Eagles.
Yeah.
They were tailgating there, and Frank's
It was kind of like that,
dropping
like,
acid.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. But actually, one of the hockey moms brought shots. She works in hospitality, and she's like, "Yeah, I found shots in the thing." So she's like, "If your kid scores or gets an assist, you have to do a shot." So she was making the other moms do. So Melanie had to do 2 of them. So I was like, "That's good."
Bodie's just he's a superstar. Going to be getting hammered every time.
That's it.
God,
they left me at it. It was good. So I was like,
so that must be a cool perspective to see now, being like the the parenty kind of role of the hockey, like being like a hockey dad, right?
yeah, I mean, like I played baseball, so I saw like all the baseball parents. I never really saw like, little kids playing hockey because it was like it's always a rink. It's always very like you go there for that specific thing. It's not like you're in a park and you say, "Hey, they're playing baseball." You got to go to a specific game.
Well, so you see it's a lot more aggro, the parents too.
Yes, it's
yep. Especially a lot of loser dads who didn't achieve anything, who try to take it out now and try to make their kid the superstar, right?
Hockey tryouts. Melanie ran into one of the dads from like 3 years or 4 years back when Bodie played for like they have like a junior Lightning team that's sponsored by the Lightning. Mm-hmm. So he played for that team and they moved to the travel one. And that guy, I guess his kids still play there. And they were talking and Melanie's like, "Yeah, I remember you almost got in a fight in that tournament." He's like, "Yeah, this guy wanted to duke it out with me." He's like, "I didn't want to duke it out." He's like, he's like, "I got a gun in the car." He's like, "But I would never use it." It's just a different mentality.
Dude, like, hockey parents are a different breed, man, than like any other sport.
Last year we were at the tournament in Chicago, like the national. It was a world tournament for CCM, and one of the parents it wasn't any of the teams that we were playing, but it was 2 games that were going at the same time. I guess in the parking lot, somebody didn't hold the door for somebody or walk, and they were on the other team. And the mother is yelling at these other parent like this. It's wild to see like a 50-year-old woman rabidly yelling at somebody for some really stupid thing, saying, "My son, they're going to beat you," and just cursing at this person. It was just messed up. I was like, the ugly side of people come out. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see though.
Yeah.
Definitely entertaining.
I love that you're doing shots during kids hockey tryouts. That's something special right there.
It's like, what's up?
That's something you talk about on draft day, right? He gets drafted.
Yeah. Well, that's the so that mom her nephew is playing for Chicago now. He's the one that, remember I took a picture with him? He's at Bodie's game. He was billeted and he's up and comer. He got drafted by Chicago and he actually started in the end of last year. So he was,
holy cow.
A young guy. Forgot his last name. I don't think he's the same last name as her. But oh no, his last name's Bowden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no relation to Bodie, but
yeah.
Yeah, they have oddly the same last name, and I guess they must be distant cousins or something.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. It's like the Sutter family.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool.
I actually, we were talking about it. Like PK has 2 brothers that play in the NHL.
Yeah,
I didn't know that because we were at another hockey thing, and they had a poster up, and I guess the same person that's running, they were advertising some training, and I guess PK's dad, did he did like a little blurb for them, saying that he had, to have 3 kids in the NHL. They'd gone through this training program, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't know that. Like, I just don't follow sports as closely as I should. I don't know. That's just how it is.
That's how it is, right?
Yeah.
He's got 4 siblings, yeah, but I guess a couple that are.
It's like the Manning. You have one brother that doesn't play.
Well, didn't the Manning brother get hurt playing?
Yeah, but he's on TV now, which is great. He's got like a little segment.
I think he was supposed to be better than the other 2, but like hurt himself or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, the easy ride. He's like, screw you guys. You go have I'm just hanging out with mom and dad.
I think I heard he was like big into oil or something. Like, he got into some sort of industry and is making a ton of money doing something. Yeah.
Damn. Maybe he was a smart.
Perhaps, right?
Anyway, so drinking yesterday.
Like that's that hard. None of those, either one of those guys, seem like they're too bright.
Yeah. So yesterday we were drinking. It was hot as balls out. So we're drinking outside, just having a few before we go in. Whatever. It's the end of the day. So we wound up getting these high noons. Also, have you had these before?
I have not. No.
I've seen these in the store, and actually some of the breweries that I go to will carry this because some people don't want the beer, so they carry usually. Well, I'm carry like a wine and something else, maybe like a wine cooler. This is kind of like, but this is actually vodka and soda, and this is the black cherry one. But they have a watermelon one. They have all these other cool ones. They're only 4.5% or 4.2.
All right, so this is like your White Claw, your other thing.
Yeah, White Claw is like 5, so this is a little bit less than White Claw, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, nice.
White Claw is a malt beverage. This is vodka and soda, so it's
Oh,
like a mixed drink on the go. So I kind of actually I thought it was going to be disgusting, but we got them. I was like, hey, that's not that bad. So.
nice. So no boxed wine.
No boxed
Take
wine.
the story. Take the first one.
All right. So first story we got while we're at Apres is don't tell my wine snob friends why Americans are buying more boxed wine during COVID-19. So boxed wines have been out for a long time, but they're saying since COVID-19 began shutting down the economy, it caused a panic over a bunch of things. And they're saying it caused a panic in alcohol as well. So even wine in a box, they said, wasn't immune to the panic. So they said people were loading up on boxed wine during the pandemic. They said the boxed wine sales jumped 36% for a 15-week period, outplacing the 29% increase in overall retail wine sales. So I think it's economics. People are like, I'm going to be home, man, and I don't want to keep going out getting bottles. Because honestly, you drink a bottle of wine, that's what, 4 glasses?
A bottle, so 750 milliliters, right? Is a bottle of wine.
Usually that's about 4, like red wine. I usually get 4 full glasses of that.
Sounds about right.
Right. So now you buy a box. That's buying like instead of the 1 liter, you're getting the 2 liter. You're getting the big boy.
Is it 2 or 3 liters? The boxes.
I don't know.
So I'm looking at the black box, and that looks like I think it looks like 3 liters. It's a little bit blurry, the picture.
Yeah, I think it says 3 liters. That's a good amount.
That's a very decent amount.
So 750 milliliters. So it's not.
So 16 glasses then.
Yeah, that's a lot more.
That is a lot. And it holds a little bit better too, right? Doesn't it like stay fresher, better in that box, like the bag in there?
It's not exposed to the air. So when you pour it, the bag shrinks down and then the stopper stops it. So there's no extra air generally getting in.
It's like a mini keg.
Yeah, it's like a wine keg. Pony keg. That's funny.
Apparently Franzia has 5 liter boxes.
Damn, Franzia. Tour de Franzia. We keep talking about that.
Tour de Franzia.
Yeah, so they're saying its popularity. So they're saying there's a stigma to boxed wine where people think it's generally cheaper. But I think we've seen over the years there's a lot better wines that have come in the boxes. And even now, I know I've noticed it. You've probably noticed it too. They have those little like single glass of wine in a box now, which are pretty awesome. You come home from work, just want a glass of wine with dinner. I don't want to open a bottle. I just want a glass.
That's like the same, like it looks like a protein shake, right? Like one of those cardboard with the screw top. What?
Don't mix them up. It's like a juice box.
Like a juice box, yeah.
Don't mix them up. Can you imagine?
Like stabbing your straw into it, like.
Can you imagine you send your kid like with a juice box with a wine box by accident?
You're like, fuck.
God damn. You get a call like, you did it again, Mr. Damn it.
It's like, well, he didn't cause trouble in class after, did he? He just kind of fell asleep.
Nap time.
Yeah.
That's me. So it's nap time, kid. So yeah, so they're saying, there's still a stigma. So people were trying to keep it hush hush, but hey, they were in the store buying the shit out of it. So
dude, if your friends make fun of you for drinking box wine, they're loser friends anyway. Why do you give a shit?
Exactly.
Drink what you
Exactly.
like.
So they're saying other brands have entered the market after Franzia, and they've grown for several reasons. So 3-liter boxes like those offered by competitor Botabox also have exploded in sales during the pandemic, rising 78% for that 13-week period.
Boom. Wow.
It's pretty awesome. So everybody's looking for the big ass box too. It's like a keg, a wine keg.
Seriously, man. Hey, I grew up. My first wine experience was Carlo Rossi in a jug. So, you know,
Well, they're saying a 5-liter box of Franzia contains roughly 34 5-ounce glasses of wine for about $15 to $18, which is cheap as hell. They're
damn.
saying 3 cents per glass. So even the premium 3-liter boxes retail only for around 20, which is the equivalent of 4 regular glass bottles. So if you put it in terms of buying a bottle of wine, I mean, you spend about $10 on a bottle of wine, right? And there you go. You only get 4 glasses. So
All right. So it's all right. So let's go back to that. So there's 34 5-ounce glasses in one of those
Franzia,
5-liter boxes. Okay.
5-liter.
So, all right. So I'm trying to do the math here because I'm trying to figure out what the value of like a $3 chuck would be then.
Ah,
So that's 750 milliliters.
well, that's what I'm saying. Roughly 4 glasses, 4 5-ounce glasses.
Dividing that by 5.5, right? Because you got 5.5, 750 divided by 5.5. That's not right. I'm dealing with ounces and milliliters. That's the problem right there. That is not
Yes.
going to convert.
That's not the good conversion.
No. All right. So let's call it 4 then. So 4 divided by 3. So it's under $1. What's it? 70 cents then or something? 75 cents?
Yeah, compared to 53 cents. See,
Yeah.
and the fact that you don't have to go out for a while because you got this big ass box in your fridge,
So really, I'm getting ripped off getting $3 chuck.
taking it right from behind. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Charles Shaw.
sure. Thanks, Trader Joe. Which
Wow.
Trader Joe, I looked again this week because we have this whole thing going on near me. So there was a store that was it was Lucky's Market. Kroger went in part with them. They built this big ass store, and then they decided Lucky's was overextending themselves. We're pulling out, and they left this brand new store. Like the developer, they stuck them with the store. So there's like a lawsuit going on now, but like everybody's speculating on like who's going to go in there. So we've been trying to see if like there's going to be another Aldi, or we're hoping a Trader Joe's go in there, but hasn't happened yet. So everybody's like speculating on that. But Aldi and Trader Joe is the same company. Well, 2 halves of the same company, let's put it that way.
Same parent company. Well, you know what? If you are a Franzia fan and you're also a teen, it's a lot easier these days to be scoring because the teens are apparently dressing up as grandmas to try to get alcohol.
Genius.
This is really, really goddamn funny.
I would have done this shit when I was growing up. I'll tell you that right now.
This is like a no-brainer, right?
Well, think about it. When Benjamin gets older, you could be like, Benjamin, dress up and go get me some stuff from the store. That's what it used to be when we were growing up. When I was growing up, Dad would give you like, here's a few bucks. Go down to the store, get a 6-pack. Just tell them it's for me, and they'd give it to you. They literally would give it to you.
A simpler time.
Like 12 years old, they'd be like, "Here you go, kid. Here's a 6-pack and some smokes." Okay.
What they're saying is that Gen Z, what they're doing is they're dressing up as grandmas wearing coronavirus face masks. The prank has taken social media platform TikTok by storm, with videos of users bedecked as booze hound bubbies, seemingly victorious, bottles in hand, racking up millions of views. That you get to go to a liquor store before you're 21, we're sure is just a bonus.
That's
PSA,
funny.
use your fakes as much as possible because if you wear a mask, they can't see your whole face. LOL.
Yeah, you still have to have an ID to show, right? So you have to,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, usually, well, then again, you go to some places, they might just be like, whatever.
Exactly. You're supposed to only ID if they're under if they look under a certain, see, that's another thing. It's very subjective, right? So they ID anybody that appears under the age of 30. That's all subjective. So there's loopholes around that.
Yeah. Yeah. It says people would get gray wig, glasses, old person Halloween costume mask, then put your surgical mask on and gloves. And one clip shows
why not, right?
the clip shows the gal returning from the mart with cans of Four Loko in tow, dancing with her friends while she rips off her mask.
Four Loko. But that's the new Four Loko, not the original.
Not the OG one that I have.
Dude, those
kids were like 6 when I bought that Four Loko.
Dude, so that's the other thing I thought about with Wolf of Wall Street, because it was on today. I was watching it for some stupid reason because there's nothing else on. They have that part of the movie where he's going to go to jail or something like that. So before he does, they want to take like the last Quaalude. It's that scene that leads to the car, where he drives the car. We were talking about that. So that's going to be like you in the Four Loko. You're going to be like getting ready for it. Like,
you can't get ready for Four Loko. Not the original, not the OG one.
Shower, shut off the phones, get ready for the experience, wrap everything up. Then have the Four Loko and see what shit happens.
I'm going to have someone like tie me down to the bed or something before I drink it.
You have to have a spotter. You have to have a drinking spotter for the day.
Spotter, perhaps.
Yeah. Somebody bigger than you that can like hold you down.
Hold me down. Hold me back.
Don't hold me back. You can't hold me back.
All right. That wraps up the old app right today. So let's take a quick little journey to the gondola.
Gondola's open for business again.
Gondola's back open. And we have one quick story. We've wiped the whole gondola down. It's in good shape again.
Right. Got our mask on.
Yeah, study. History of cannabis use associated with lower BMI, greater exercise frequency in those age 60 and older.
Hell yeah.
So this was done with a bunch of seniors in Boulder, Colorado. Seniors who who use cannabis possess lower BMI, body mass index, and are more likely to frequently engage in exercise than are non-users, according to data published in the American Journal of Health and Behavior. Researchers with the University of Colorado at Boulder measured differences in BMI and exercise behavior in 28 cannabis consumers and 136 matched controls who participated in an 8-week exercise intervention trial. All of the subjects in the study were age 60 or older. Authors reported results of this analysis indicated that compared to older adult non-users, older adult cannabis users had lower BMI at the beginning of an exercise intervention study, engaged in more weekly exercise days during the intervention, and were engaging in more exercise-related activities at the conclusion of the intervention. So I don't know what it is. It's just, you look at all the stoner stereotypes we've seen over the years in movies. Like I just always go back to Half Baked, where they're showing guys just ordering pizzas and hanging out, and like Jim Brewer back in the day. Like that was like your classic, stoner eating, just hanging out. But this, like, it's so cool to see that this really, it's not necessarily that way. Like, you're out there, you're getting into nature, you're getting exercise, you're in better shape, and cannabis is just one of the tools to get you there.
Well, it's really become more of a science than just somebody, arbitrarily just taking some random stuff that they bought from a dealer on a corner. Right now, you have pharmaceutically grown, controlled. You have, actual strains where what's in it, and it's just so much better for you.
Well, that's the big thing, like you said. I just remember back in high school, it's like, hey man, we got some weed. It's like, well, and you look at this bag and you're like, what the hell is in that? It could
half
be
oregano, half weed,
angel dust, a little bit of like infield dirt. Like there's just all kinds of crap in there. And now you go to a dispensary and you buy something there, and it's just this beautiful plant that you're getting.
Yeah.
So that makes a really big difference. Yeah, you're not getting it cut with angel dust or PCP or something fucked up because
Pure grown controlled substance, which is it's good. There's no other crap in there. But they've also gotten like better with like they'll tell you what kind of terpenes are in there. So now it's all like there's a lot of stuff on terpenes, and basically that's what drives a lot of the different strains to have different effects on people, and everybody's body's different, and that's why certain strains affect different people, people differently because of the terpenes that are in there. So it's interesting that now we're able to apply science to it, where before it was just so taboo you can even look at it.
Yeah, and one interesting thing about this study too, I mean, it was done at University of Colorado at Boulder, and Boulder is known to be like a very outdoorsy town to begin with. And I'm sure most of these people are skiing, hiking, biking, running, doing all that kind of stuff anyway. So if you did that in like Mississippi, probably would have different results. But
Well, I got to say though, like, people use marijuana, and that's why it's been recognized medically, because it helps with pain, it helps with joints, it helps with a lot of stuff, which keeps you from wanting to do stuff, helps with your mood. CBD, if you want to go that route, if you want to go a little THC, you maybe get a little mood enhancement, maybe a little uplifter. So it's just it's a lot better than it used to be. That's for sure.
Dude, I know that I hadn't taken my CBD in like 2 weeks because I've been kind of all over the place and having some stuff going on, and I finally took it yesterday for the first time, and I'd gone for a nice long bike ride running with my son, and this morning my joints felt so much better than they had in weeks. It's amazing what that stuff does, and the fact that people are still going out there and still refuting the evidence that CBD is helpful to people and can make a difference. It's just like we talked about before with the whole gloves and masks. Like, people just are not willing to open their minds and look at new information. And you know what? It's really their loss, because a lot of people could really benefit from this that maybe kind of blocking it out unnecessarily.
Yeah.
If a doctor tells you to take some jerk off pharmaceutical, people are just going to take it willy-nilly because the doctor told me to take it. You don't know that the doctor's getting paid off by that pharmaceutical company to push that product, and that you're going to get addicted to 3, 4, 5 more pharmaceuticals after that because of it, all giving you a variety of side effects that all could be actually negatively affecting you. But a doctor told me to take it, and God knows doctors never do anything wrong.
Oh, never. So I was partaking in some legal medical cannabis for my conditions.
Well, have you been taking like all 1,800 milligrams a day that you are allotted?
So it's hilarious. They were saying it was like 200 milligrams a day recommended. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking weed. I'm sorry. So, I've been taking a lot. So since I got my card, I've been taking CBD every day, which it's great because I have a good source of CBD. And then, I'll randomly, if I want a little mood uplifter, I'll take a little bit of a certain strain, or I, want to sleep. There's another strain I'll have, or sometimes I even vape the CBD with like a tiny bit of THC in it, just to kind of take the edge off. And I got a shitty back, and my back and neck are probably the worst things that I have to deal with, like arthritis and just injury and shit like that. So, yeah, I take it, and I do feel a lot better. I do feel a little bit of, it depends. So when they say, oh, this strain helps you with like energy, yeah, it does if you're not deprived of sleep. My problem is I'll run through and I'll get deprived of sleep, and then I'll take it, and then that's why I always fall asleep. Now that I've actually started taking it, and I've slept since I started taking it, since I got my card and I started taking everything. I got to say, I've slept the best I ever have since I was like 5.
Seriously?
Yeah, like dead to the world, like sleeping just out, which is great. Like tonight I have a few drinks of alcohol, which is the other thing. I'm not drinking half as much alcohol because I'm like, oh, I'll just take the edge off with a little, little hit from a vape, or a little tincture.
I wonder if that's the reason why the alcohol industry was always pushing against marijuana legalization.
Yeah. I
Wow,
tell you
wouldn't
what,
that be a crazy coinky dink?
that would be crazy, right? Is there a lobbyist from the alcohol industry? What?
I mean, I would never imagine they would do that.
Never. No, that would be disingenuous, right? Of them.
Listen,
So
it's our job to fuck people up and
yeah,
damage their internal organs.
exactly. You can't
Do
get
not
in there.
deny us that.
So, but no, I've slept like a baby. I mean, I think I've slept so for
Babies sleep like shit. That's a stupid term. I don't know where that sleeping like a baby thing came from.
That's true.
Wake 5 goddamn times a night, up to 4 a.m. sometimes.
Like a baby. Oh, so you woke up like every 2 hours for the last fucking, for the entire night? Is that what you
Yeah.
did?
I don't know who said came up with that phrase, but it's awful.
Yeah. No, but I got to say, like 2 nights in, I took the CBD and I did sleep better that night. But I tell you what, the next night I took the CBD, took another strain to help with sleep, and I slept. I didn't even wake up middle of the night. Usually, I wake up just to kind of roll around, maybe go to the bathroom, whatever. And it's just kind of like I slept straight through the night. I was like, I haven't slept, lay down and slept for like 7 or 8 hours straight in a long, long time. Like my sleep's always been broken up because
I remember you always would have some sort of thing you would try. Like I remember that sleep GH stuff.
oh yeah, some
I,
of it worked. The Valerian worked the best for me.
Valerian Steel.
Valerian Steel. Tea helps, the sleepy time helps, but while it helps, I mean, it's still good for the first half of the night, and then the second half of the night would be like just fucking tossing and turning. Now this shit, I'm out. I go to sleep, I'm out. You're not hearing anything from me.
That's a beautiful thing. So there you go. Mario's tips for sleeping: a little bit of CBD, a little THC, and
CBD is
sleeping
good.
like a non-baby.
Like, look at the benefits of CBD. Like, why wouldn't you want to take it? People take vitamin C for everything. Why wouldn't
well, you know what? It almost seems too good to be true when you look at all the evidence. And you hear people talk about it, and of course you have people like, yeah, man, CBD is the best, and people can be turned off by the people who are saying it. But dude, man, you give that stuff a try. I mean, I can't believe what a difference it makes.
Hey, I believe in CBD.
Fantastic.
I believe in the fish oil. I believe in CoQ10. Like there's stuff that you gotta, you should be taking, depending, especially too, like if you're on certain med, there's stuff you should be taking. A nootropic, that's the other thing, something for the mind.
I take fish oil and glucosamine too for my joints. And
yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's a psychosomatic thing, but I seems to be working.
Yeah.
I feel better when I do take it.
Fish oil, they've proven it's supposed to be really good for you. Sammy's good too.
What's that?
Sammy, have you ever taken that?
Sam E. I've heard of that.
It's good. It started out as like something to take for joints, and then they found out, hey, this does wonders for your mood too. So it's joint and mood. So you take it, and actually it helps with mood a lot. Like you feel really kind of nice and balanced with it.
Oh wow, Sam E.
Yeah. It's been out for a long ass time. But like I said, everybody was taking it for their joints, and they were like, hey, I'm in a nice positive mood. And they did it was kind of the same thing they did with marijuana, with cannabis, it's because nobody researched it. They did it by like result that people were reporting. And they were like, hey, it was proven to help with joints, but then everybody was reporting these positive, happiness and uplifted mood and stuff like that. And then they started doing studies on it to see, it does help with mood, or it's been proven. So I don't know.
No, nice.
Everybody has their opinion about it, but I forget to take that every day because they have these they're in these little blister packs, and I guess the way they make it, it's very it'll almost start melting. It's just weird. So they have in the blister pack, so sometimes I forget to take that. If I take that, I take a bunch of shit. Let's put it that way. It's all medicine, supplement, prescriptions or supplements.
Yeah.
Hopefully with the CBD and other stuff, I may be able to get off of some of those prescriptions. See?
Yeah, seriously, right?
Thinking.
All right. Well, that wraps up the gondola, and now let's go into the ski news. So we are in mid-July, but there's still always a bit of ski news out there. One thing that was a little bit disturbing and unfortunate Whistler Blackcomb is removing the Hortsman T-bar due to climate change.
Mm.
Following years of a dwindling snowpack, Whistler Blackcomb has removed the T-bar on Horstman, I guess. Horstman Glacier. The move comes as no surprise to locals and visitors alike who have witnessed the alarming recession of the glacier over the past 2 decades. Once a mecca for summer ski camps and off-season training, the undeniable effects of warming temperatures have left the Horstman Glacier a shell of its former self. Longtime operation Camp of Champions closed its doors in 2017, announcing the glacier had become so plagued by meltout they couldn't feasibly build the terrain features they hoped. Oof. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last podcast with the sheets they're putting up in the Alps there, trying to cover up their glaciers. I mean, what can you really do? You know, it's not like we can, what can we actually do? This is the planet doing this.
I think we could send up a rocket with the big, like,
umbrella?
10 sheet, big umbrella, shade out the sun for a little while, like maybe 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, however you want to get really cold, and then unshade it. Boom. We're back to normal. We're back burning. I'm back burning my garbage in the street.
Yeah. It's almost like at the end of summer, like the summer fall equinox, the autumnal equinox. It's just 2 days we're putting an umbrella up.
Yeah.
Just block it out.
So you've seen the movie The Purge, right?
I haven't actually seen it, but I know what it's about.
I mean, so the premise of it is pretty messed up. Like once a year for the one day, like no rules, anything. Purge like bad people and discrepancy, people that were disgruntled, like purge that out of everybody's minds so that we don't have any crime during the year. So while that's a good idea, why don't we do the same thing with quarantining? Why isn't everybody quarantined for a while? Why don't we shut out, put the umbrella on for that time? So think about it. We go into quarantine and you put the umbrella. So we go into like darkness for like a week, 3 weeks, whatever. And then we all come out and we do the same shit that we always do. Just saying.
So I think we would need a prominent skier to be a major head of a country.
Yes.
So why can't we get like Tommy Moe to run for president?
Well, we could probably install Tommy Moe as a dictator in some country.
Tommy Moe is a dictator, like the head of Andorra.
We'll take over Liechtenstein within a week.
We're gonna annex a part of Austria, perhaps. It could be the head there.
We just make up some shit, annex something, and then that's it. It's like Pretoria for Family Guy.
I love. I can see the New York Post headlines like "Local government mowed over" or something like that. Opposition mowed over.
He's not taking this stuff anymore. No mo, he says. That would be the opposition. No mo.
No mo.
We could be the campaign guy for you, Tom, if you're listening.
So, we're idea guys.
We're idea guys. We come up with the good shit. We'll pass it off to your idea people that make it happen.
We just got to figure out who his vice president's going to be.
Johnny
Actually,
Mo.
if it's a dictator, I guess.
Oh, Mo.
I think as a dictator, you have no one else, right? You just kind of you're just you.
You're just you.
Just you.
You're talking president, vice president. Tommy Mo, Johnny Mosley, Tommy and Johnny Mose, the Mose. So think about it. Let's say Tommy serves his 2 terms and has to go out. Just keep voting for Mo. Like that's it. And it just keeps people that don't even know what they're doing at the ballot box just voting for the same person.
And unfortunately, one of them gets shot. There's a Mo assassination.
Mo assassination.
A day of mourning.
The day of moaning.
Day of moaning.
Oh, that's horrible.
I
Instead of
mean,
a procession, it's a mo-session.
it's horrible, but it kind of writes itself. It's beautiful.
Even if the finance does really well, we're not in a recession. We're in a mo-session.
Uh,
This has legs. This really could.
I think we should really reach out to our friend Tommy and see if we can make this happen for him.
I'm gonna have after this podcast post, we are gonna have to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, have you thought about being a dictator of a third world country?
By the way,
Is it on your list of dreams?
in case you haven't heard, we know Tommy Moe's probably at some card game somewhere in quarantine, high stakes table.
He's probably got a private underground indoor ski resort.
That would be great.
Which,
And
speaking of which,
the snow zone in New England, which is New England's largest indoor real snow resort.
it's not New England, it's Old England. It's the original OG England.
Sorry, the OG England. So we are delighted to it. Do I have to do a British accent? Because I can't.
We prefer if you did.
Snow Zone, Milton Keynes, and Castleford will be reopening on the 3rd August at 12 p.m. Bookings for main slope passes. So they're basically opening on the 3rd of August. So what I want to know is they're saying largest indoor real snow resort. So do they just do this when it gets cold and they just do this in England because there's no hills there? Like what?
Well, they have those plastic indoor places there. And this one actually has snow, kind of like how big snow in New Jersey has it.
Yeah. Well, so it's good sign that they are. See, they have dry slope and real snow. So when they say real snow, it's snow-made snow. Same thing as
big snow.
Big snow. Okay. It's that British to English conversion that gets me.
Yeah, there's all kinds of extra U's in there.
Oh, not only that, they phrase things differently. Like they have the Milton Keynes real snow, Castleford real snow, ski zone, dry slope. I'm like, what is? Are they indoor or outdoor covered? So it's good to see that this is what's happening in Europe because, if Europe was still staying shut in, like you kind of wonder what does our ski season outlook look like. So, wow.
Well, we talked about it last week, and people keep trying to figure it out because every podcast we're a week or two closer to the season, and so many questions still remain.
Yeah.
And one company, unfortunately, made an announcement today, July the 17th. The folks at Roam, ROAM, they're a robotics company, and they have created this exoskeleton knee support system.
Things are awesome.
It's really cool. And unfortunately, they posted an update saying that the pandemic has had real consequences, and unfortunately, with the uncertain context of COVID-19, we have had to make the hard decision to temporarily pause our investment in the Elevate ski product. Regretfully, this decision means that we will not be producing the device that were pre-ordered, nor will Elevate be available for rent this upcoming 2021 winter season. We understand that this news will likely come as a surprise, and please know that no one is more disappointed than us.
You know why? The military bought it. I guarantee you.
I wonder. So, the one fortunate thing they did say, and they said if you have a deposit, it'll be refunded in the next 48 to 72 hours. And, one positive is they're saying they are pausing their efforts on the Elevate ski product, not canceling them. The engineering team will use the next months to work on Ascend, our everyday orthosis, and further refine our technology platform with the singular goal of making all future Roam products better. We are uncertain about when and how Elevate will be seen again, but we are certain that this pause will extend until COVID-19 situation is fully under control. Now, we had some fans of the podcast go out to Big Sky. That was our boy band crew.
Yeah.
And they were saying one of the guys in their crew had, I forget if he had knee surgery or blew out his knee, and they had that Roam Elevate that
they did.
Use.
Sweet.
And the guy, against doctor's orders, is like, dude, I gotta try it out. I don't want to miss out on skiing.
Yeah.
Said it was awesome, like a total game changer.
Yeah. And you love to see where like they come out with technology to help, people that have, conditions, whether it was they were born with something or something happened to them after, or an injury or an accident. It's great to see products that come out and people paying attention to it, because I think it was, I gotta say, it's only in the modern time, like years and years and years ago, it wasn't even focused on. Now it's like, hey, there's some really cool products and technology that have made lives better for people. So it's good to see this, man.
I mean, this is the thing. I was planning on tested and being out there in a couple of years. When my knees are so shot, I'm gonna need this product to even ski.
At least another 20 years, boy.
God damn it.
If anybody's got to worry, I'm closer to that. Let's put it that way.
Well,
but I gotta say, that Rome thing, I'm skiing until I'm 100.
At least
112.
Yeah.
113. If I hit 113, that's my number. I'm done.
That's your goal?
Tapping out.
I'm not skiing past 113.
I'm skiing towards the light.
Just launch it off a cliff, right? At that point.
Double backflip into the light.
That's right.
Well, the dark, whatever is waiting for me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I think we all are just getting fed up and upset, and just this whole COVID thing is really just driving us all mad, unfortunately. And this is just another consequence of this situation.
Yeah, so there's, it's COVID, pandemic, looters, protests. Like, what else could you fucking pile into 2020, people, right? Like, if you're listening out there and you're thinking of doing something stupid, can you take a step back and say, hey, does this need to be done right now, or do we have to do stupid things? I don't know. Everybody seems to have an opinion, just like an asshole, and people don't need to always be heard. Let's just put it that way. Some voices are made for the internal voice to be internally heard, and some are made to be like voiced out, not kept in. So it's good to keep a check on what should be private versus what should be blasted, because a lot of people that blast private stuff because it gets likes and hits and stuff like that, it doesn't always result in what they want. So I don't know. There's something to be said for things that are kept maybe out of the public sometimes. So just saying, my opinion.
Yeah. And, we kind of had a very loose main topic. I don't know. I've been in a weird place the last kind of month or so. I've had some family issues, and again, I don't want to get too into it, but my father passed away just recently, and it's kind of put me in a weird spot. We had a good relationship, but an interesting relationship, like all fathers and sons. And it's you look at the world right now, and you look at people bickering over all this shit. You go onto Twitter, you go onto Facebook, you see everyone infighting, and you just wonder what is happening in their lives right now that this is really that important. Trump is an asshole. Trump is a hero. Like everyone is so divided online. And like you said, this pandemic, this lockdown, this, eventual rioting, like this all seems like we've all been set up. Like I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but
I am.
But doesn't this all just feel a little set up, like a year of an election? Like everything just seems to be kind of almost masterminded to just create absolute chaos.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to even get into all the conspiracy thoughts I have, but there's a lot of shit that just going on, like for the past, well, now you're talking 3.5 years, since we had a new president. There's been, a lot of stuff going on, whether it's overseas, in country, the trade war, we got financial stuff going on. So there's been a lot of crap in play. And I think the whole pandemic too is like, if it did come from China, it didn't come from China. Like, did China set it on people? Like, I don't know. There's all these theories, so I don't know. At the end of the day, you look around your place, or you look at your family, or you look at the people you love, and you say, okay, is the angry TV that I'm watching for 3 hours a night, getting all wound up about the world, as important as the family that's sitting right near me? I think that's kind of one of the things you say, right? And you remember, the people that have touched your life, and it's good to keep things in check. But
Yeah, we just, the news, the media, social media, it's just finding ways to make us enemies with each other.
yeah,
When most of us are really kind of in the middle together, maybe skewing a little bit left and right, small standard deviation, but we're all kind of, I think, pretty similar in what we're looking to do. We're all looking to have a meaningful work experience, to have a family, to take care of our family, and to have some fun. When you look at people's core objectives, I think that's most people would feel that way.
yeah,
But now somehow we've found a way to nitpick and criticize and whine and complain and bitch about every single goddamn thing. And it's really unfortunate because we live in an amazing place in America. Let's say
amazing
let's say
time, right?
in
If you think
2019 America, amazing. The technology we have, the ability to access food and healthcare, but yet we still find things to complain about. I get it. It is what it is. But I saw a fantastic quote and I wanted to just share it. It says, "America is not divided by race, color, gender, or sexual orientation. America is divided into people and fools. And fools divide themselves by race, color, gender, or sexual orientation." And I read that. I thought that was fantastic. It's like, why are we finding so many ways to nitpick and complain and bitch and hate each other when really we're all just trying to get by? And nothing's perfect. We're not in a perfect spot. We should be working to make things better where they can be. But no one is focusing on anything positive right now. The only thing we focus on is negativity and what's splitting us apart. And it's only making the rift greater. I know, in my town here, you're starting to see all the Biden flags go up or signs and the Trump flags and signs. And really, neither of those fuckers are going to care about you. You put up the sign, great. They don't give a shit about you. And all it's going to do is make neighbors dislike each other.
Yeah.
But that's how we have this team mentality. I got to be on this is my team, or this is your team. Like same if you were Yankees, Red Sox. Same kind of thing.
Well, it's been divided by team because now there's this. While everybody wants to stop bullying, that's what's going on everywhere. So if you say you're a Biden supporter, you get heckled. If you say you're a Trump supporter, you get heckled. If you say you're an other supporter, you get heckled. So it's like you can't win either way. Everybody wants to be, voice their opinion, which doesn't always have to be heard, and bully somebody else because they think their opinion is right, and that person doesn't know how to come to the correct conclusion that everybody should apparently see. Well, if we all thought that way, then we would have some pretty horrible things going on in our world, not just our country. So I think that's why people have to, listen to each other, whether you're on the, whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever side of the cube you're on, because maybe there's not two sides, there could be multiple sides to stuff. Like, listen to everybody else and listen and understand that people aren't always going to agree with you. And it should be fine to be that way. It doesn't be that we all have to hold hands and believe in the same thing. We can not believe in the same thing and we can still get along. We can still be good to each other.
Yeah.
And that's what people got to realize, you know?
And you know what? I know a couple weeks ago, one of the criticisms we got was regarding our take on the whole Squaw Valley rename thing. And you know what? To be perfectly honest, maybe we didn't have a great argument. All I know is we did a hot take on it. And I actually reached out to the most liberal person I know that I actually can spend time with, my sister, was talking to her about it. And she was telling me how stupid and wrong I was about it. And I took what she said with a grain of salt. I'm like, okay, I see where you're going there. But one thing that I don't understand, and she, you know, she lives out in Boulder too, out in Colorado, and she was just talking about how, you know, like a squaw is you know what they would call the Indian women or Native American women, and it was a negative term. You know, it was a derogatory term. That may be so at that time, but certain words over time change their meaning. You know, like cunt used to be the worst word possible.
Yeah.
But you go to England, that guy's a right thick cunt right there. You know, you get people changing the terminology.
Well, you know, the other thing
is a derogatory term, but also
yeah.
the Native Americans, they were on the losing side of history. The Europeans that came over, they had a advanced technology and took over the land that is America now. Sucks for them, but you know what? That same innovation that provided modern technology for warfare also probably led to television, telephones, computers, highways, cars. And it's so easy to cherry pick and look at the Native American way of living as this magical, majestic, close to nature way of life. But they had warring factions too. They treated their enemies way crueler than we ever did. It's like you can't just go back and change history and think and not look at any of the positives that came from potentially negative circumstances.
Yeah, you can't change what happened just because you want it to not have happened. You know, like, hey, it happened. We were brutal.
Look at history through today's lenses.
Yeah, but I mean, you go throughout time, and there's been the same stuff has happened here, has happened everywhere in the world since the beginning of time. It's just what it is. I mean, understand what it was, and I don't know, you got to move on at some point.
Revisionist history, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what? I fucking hate this pandemic so goddamn much because we are talking about this and we're not talking about enough skiing shit.
Yep.
You know, this is how we've just been.
We should be talking about what we were going to go, what's the plans, who's doing new upgrades. Like,
we're all talking about goddamn politics. I'm not qualified. We're not qualified to fucking talk about it, but everyone's got to have a goddamn opinion, you know?
Well, think about it this way, right? So you turn on the TV, right? Usually you either want to see the news or watch something for enjoyment, whether you want to be scared, when you want to be, want to laugh, you want a drama, whatever it is, right? So you turn on the TV for entertainment / enjoyment, or you want to get information, right? So now you get the news, and there are a lot of people are turning on TV just to watch the news. And it happens in this household because there's constant putting on of the news, which I just hate watching the news in general, just because. But local news is actually funnier than like national news. So,
well, in Florida, especially.
Oh, they're talking about the weather and this person hanging out. Like it's funny as hell. And then I put on national news. I'm like, oh my God, the world's gonna end. I'm just gonna, it's all doom and gloom. But yeah, think about what you get out of your news. Like when you listen to the news or you consume some kind of news, right? Right now, there's not a lot of laughy, funny shit going on. Now, if you cruise YouTube and you're looking for videos or TikTok or whatever, you find like a lot of humorous stuff. But if you're looking for a news outlet, there's not a lot of good, fun news, and it's the same across all outlets, right? So there's something to that. When people aren't getting their own news, look at the source on all the news you get, right? It's usually Gannett or AP News or, you know, so everybody's taking the same story, the same information, and disseminating as if it's their own. But you're basically getting information from one source if you look at it. So it's kind of, you got to look at your sources. Maybe not for everything, but I just think TV, the news is trying to push their own agenda and sell advertising, which is what everybody's trying to do in media, sell ads.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as you're watching, you know, as they do the teaser and they're like, well, we'll tell you how your morning commute might end up where everybody in the world dies more after this message, right? And then they cut to a message. That's that little teaser that they give you. That's bullshit right there. That's trying to work you to get their advertising done. Just saying.
Well, just remember too, in social media, if the platform is free, that means you are the product. All the information, the data, everything you're consuming, there's an algorithm that's making sure you get more of what you click on, what you interact with, what makes you angry, which makes you happy. That's just the way these algorithms are set up to work. So,
well, now it's even moved from that to, oh, we're going to track coronavirus for you. What's your cell phone? Oh, great. We have that data. We'll tell you if you were in contact with anybody that had corona.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky.
They're talking about doing tickets like that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where you check in and they get your phone and they get the location info. So for 2 weeks, if you leave a certain zone, they give you a ticket.
Ugh.
That's what they're thinking about. This is creepy shit. Yep.
Black Mirror, man. We're in a goddamn Black Mirror episode.
Yep. What's the one? The White Bear? That's the one.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
that lady in the beginning.
It's creepy. The best part of that is they did that as it rolls out. You don't know what's going on until the very end.
Yeah, that was really well done.
Yeah. See, and we didn't spoil it for anybody, which is good.
Nope.
We said a bunch of shit to get you hooked in, and then I think it was season 2, right? Season 2?
I think
White
so,
Bear?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a story too kind of related to all this that was in the Boston Globe a few weeks ago, and it says the pandemic has people re-examining their lives, and some don't like what they're seeing. And they used the example of this lady, Kathleen Regan, who was a self-described type A person, that she'd soon be spending her mornings in contemplative silence, reading Seamus Heaney, journaling about gratitude, and truly listening to the breeze in her Medford backyard. And if they told her that back in March, they said she'd be crazy. Once the pandemic hit and the stressors didn't stop coming, there was the virus news, which this lady consumed relentlessly. Her daughter was working in a hospital. Her husband felt ill, not with COVID-19. The family's finances were threatened. It was all just too much. And she said, I have to change to survive, the advertising sales manager told herself, and I am going to survive. And she said to herself that she recited the line from Seamus Heaney's song. She returned to the poem, she said, because it speaks to her about our connection with the natural and supernatural worlds. And that moment when the bird sings very close to the music of what happens. And, you know, it kind of makes people ask the question, if I die now, have I lived the life I wanted to? And they said in this article, for many, the answer is no. Spouses are being left, retirements being pushed up, friends dropped. People are moving to rural spots and strengthening their faith, and those fortunate enough to have a choice are saying no to commuting.
So I do this thing every year. So around like New Year's, just before New Year's, like kind of around Christmas time, well, usually after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, I do this little assessment of like my life, like, and I write down goals and shit like that. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in like making sure your goals are in line and blah, blah, blah. But I do this whole thing where I ask myself, like, if I were to like, and I do this on a regular, not even just at the end of the year. End of the year, I do a whole planning. It's just weird. It's psychotic. I should probably videotape it because it's psychotic. But I do ask myself every once in a while, like, if I die tomorrow, am I okay with that? Right? And you kind of think, you know, am I happy? It kind of goes to, am I happy with my life right now? Right? That's where it goes. Like, everybody says it to get the shock factor of, oh my God, you're talking about that. But, you know, you got to ask yourself, like, am I happy right now? And take inventory of that. You should always, generally be happy, but if you're not, then there's something going on.
Yeah.
You know?
I know I've talked about it plenty of times on this podcast, but I honestly see myself next year doing this as my full-time job
Nice.
because I have made a couple of financial moves that are going to allow me, or I hope will allow me to quit my full-time job and focus on this because
Nice.
I'm so fed up and sick of doing what I do every day. And you know, I don't know how many more signs I could be given that I need to do this to make this move.
Yeah.
It's bold,
Well, you're
it's
just gonna be
crazy.
doing something else for yourself. I mean, you'd be working for yourself.
You have to take a risk. You have to take chances in this world. Otherwise, you're just going to be on a goddamn green slope your whole fucking life. And then
That's
look
right.
back when you're on that giant gondola in the sky going, I should have tried an intermediate. I should have tried a black diamond.
That's
Things
right.
maybe you may think you're being safe right now and safe is good, but safe is false. It's a false illusion. Nothing is safe. You have to take chances. You have to put yourself at a little bit of risk, challenge yourself, because that's the only way you get better and improve, making yourself uncomfortable. So I've been talking a lot of shit, but I've also been taking care of a lot of shit behind the scenes. So this is my goal. This is my objective. I will find a way to make it happen. I cannot be stopped. I'm a master of my own destiny.
Look at that.
That's right. So take
Preach
that,
it.
deniers.
Deniers and liars. That's all they are.
I've also changed my app rate in case you haven't noticed. I have been making a summertime favorite. Like I mentioned, my father passed, and people have been sending us edible arrangements.
Nice.
And I made myself a filler fruit arita.
Nice.
What's a filler fruit arita, Brian? Well, it's a margarita blended in with a bunch of filler fruit like cantaloupe and honeydew.
Nice. Just chuck it in.
Usually I'd go with watermelon, but that's not a goddamn filler fruit. Cantaloupe, honeydew, the filler fruits blended up. They are much better in this form than they are standard, just being munched upon.
Yeah. Well, it is good to munch because I tell you what, I gotta say I've been eating like 2 bowls of watermelon a day now.
Well, you're not eating cantaloupe and honeydew.
But I'm wondering what that does to my system. I haven't been taking note. Like, is that gonna like?
You're getting hydrated. You're feeling good.
It's gonna hydrate the hell out of me, right?
Dude, the only thing cantaloupe is good with is to hold a piece of prosciutto.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of cantaloupe.
Right?
Oh, you know what I had? Just this week, I had dried cantaloupe. I thought it was gonna be disgusting. It was actually pretty good.
Cantaloupe.
Dried cantaloupe. I was like, I hate cantaloupe as it is, like, but
remember when people would eat like cantaloupe, like hollowed out with cottage cheese?
that's not bad. I don't mind that too bad.
It's not bad, but it's weird.
It's better than cantaloupe alone.
Why does cottage cheese have so much goddamn salt?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird, right?
Really weird.
Cheese.
Just have yogurt.
Yeah, you do yogurt.
Just put some Rice Krispies.
Even better, just do pudding. That works.
Just do tapioca.
Why not do pudding? So the other day, every once in a while, I get into a pudding craving. So I'll just go to the store. I buy the Keebler mini graham cracker pie shells, the little minis.
Nice.
And then I get a pudding mix. I make my pudding, put it in there, and I just like eat like 3 at a time. That's what I do.
Dude,
Whole thing's done in 2 days.
There was a phase I had a bunch of years ago. I would wreck Cozy Shack. Like those Cozy Shack like tapioca buckets.
Oh, you know the Cozy Shack rice pudding? I fucking love
pudding.
it.
Yes. I would
oh my God. Dude, I got rice pudding one day and I'm like trying to find new ways to eat it. So I put it on I put it in a broiler on toast. It was awesome. It was bread. It was rice pudding on bread.
How high were you when you made this?
God damn. There was no THC involved at all. It's fucked up. Dude, might have been alcohol, but
dude, why isn't there any freaking like THC rice pudding?
I want rice pudding to be like, you got to harden it, right? Like make it firm up and then grill it. And that'd be perfect. Grilled with like a nice smoke flavor to it.
Waffled.
Waffled would be amazing.
Dude, that could be it right there. THC.
Rice pudding waffle.
Rice pudding THC waffles.
Oh, but a rice pudding waffle?
Dude, right?
I have a waffle maker. It could happen.
Take a couple more of those tinctures and fire that waffle iron up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. I wouldn't be able to. I'm going to sell out of those things in a heartbeat. Oh man.
Or you could like batter them and like make a ball out of the rice pudding and batter it and fry it.
Yeah. Oh, it's
That's
like the arancinis, right? It's the rice ball with the little fried outside.
Yeah, like that, but with rice pudding.
Or rice pudding.
Little,
Instead of rice pudding.
like a zeppoli, like a little powdered sugar on it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That sounds really good.
But if it's too hot, you're gonna get sued by the lady with the cup from McDonald's that burnt her crotch.
That's all right. She's gonna want her crotch burning after this one.
Maybe they'll fall in her eyes and just burn her eyes out.
Possible.
Then she wouldn't be in drive-through.
This sounds goddamn good. I already want one. It doesn't even exist yet, but I want one.
So for my 40th birthday, I went to the 21 Club, and they made fresh bread pudding. That shit was dope. I was like, damn, my mom made bread pudding, and it was pretty good, but I'm a rice pudding guy. I'm not a bread guy, not a bread pudding guy. This is pretty damn good, I gotta say.
French toast pudding.
Oh, French toast on anything. So
Toast pudding.
I went over to my sister's the last week, and my nephew, he was on the scale for autism. So he's got a lot of social issues, whatever. But he got in this habit now. He's 17 and he's growing like crazy, up and out, and all he's eating is like cheese, chicken sandwiches with cheese on it. That's what he loves. Chicken. You get a piece of chicken, cheese, bread. He's fine, right? So I go over to my mom's house last week, and he's there, and he's eating a chicken sandwich with cheese on French toast. I was like, why did you put it on French toast? He's like, oh, that's what she had French toast with. He's like, I figured I'd try it. I was like, is it good? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that does sound pretty fucking awesome.
It's almost like a McGriddle.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a chicken and waffle, but chicken on French toast. Why not?
Chicken on, like a Monte Cristo.
Chicken on French toast.
Right.
Little syrup on there. That's what I said. First thing I said, did you put syrup on it? He's like, no. He's like, no, that would be disgusting. I'm like, what?
Or what about like some maple syrup barbecue sauce?
Oh. Or how about some syrup?
Just syrup. So not Aunt Jemima, because that's racist. To have
I always do Aunt Jemima butter flavored or Mrs. Butterworth. Those are my two of choice. I used to love Log Cabin. I loved waffles growing up even. So Log Cabin for a while, for 1976, they did they did all the years from, what was it? From and to. It's from the bicentennial, right? So it was 1976. So they did from 76 all the way up. But I think it was one year they came out with these collectible bottles. I used to eat so many waffles. They were Eggo waffles. Because my mom didn't make fresh waffles. It was like, you got Eggos. Those are freaking, I love Eggos. But I would eat waffles all the time, and I would go through so much syrup that I had like the whole collection by the end of the year. It was awesome.
You also have diabetes now too, right?
And diabetes too. Exactly. That's the hidden gift.
It's so worth it.
But they had I gotta look that up because it was like a unique. They did the Log Cabin. I think they did either presidents or they did, I don't know. They did something.
It's like presidential childhood homes.
Yeah, right.
This is Andrew Jackson's duplex he grew up in.
Bottle. There we go. Log Cabin syrup collectible bottles. Oh, they're rare now. Motherfucker. I threw mine right out.
Should have kept them.
Son of a bitch. Man, I forgot what they had on them though. Oh, they had the Statue of Liberty. Give me your pour your heart of masses on one bottle. So they were like, they had all different things. I think they had one with Abe Lincoln on it that I remember. Oh, they had a Mayflower one. Oh man, they were cool bottles. I should have kept them. That's what everybody says. Damn, I should have kept them. Yeah, but I remember collecting those damn bottles. I ate extra
They're
waffles
actually
a few
glass.
times. Huh?
They're actually glass, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, they were glass. They were brown glass. Brown glass was very rare. It's like, oh, who's making anything out of brown glass?
Look at that.
They had white. They had clear glass and brown glass, and that was it.
Don't worry, they're not that collectible. They're going for like 99 cents for the
And
bottle.
it's after think about it this way: you got it for free with your syrup.
It's true. It's big money.
Yeah, but Log Cabin was good. As a straight syrup made out of high fructose corn syrup. Log Cabin pound for pound the best syrup.
So much fructose.
Second best with the butter additive flavor is Mrs. Butterworth. She is definitely buttery and smooth.
Oh boy, this one's going for $15.99.
Damn. Hold the press.
Drum fife flag.
Yeah, they were cool. They had like little there was a lot more stuff around that would like teach you as a kid, like stuff. Like you had these little bottles would teach you little trivia about, history. They had the back to school specials. Remember those? Ozon.
Yeah.
They used to have the conjunction junction. On Saturday they had the I'm just a Bill sitting here on Capitol Hill. Remember those guys?
Oh yeah.
Schoolhouse Rock. Was that Schoolhouse Rock they called it?
I think so, yeah.
So all stuff like just popped in there to get you to learn. Now there's nothing. There's like kids sitting there for 10 hours watching somebody play video games. It's really ridiculous.
Staring at their phones.
Staring at their phone.
Yeah.
So,
but regardless, we're going to get through this. I guarantee it. We're going to be all right. We got to focus on each other, positives, what brings us together more than what sets us apart. And just learn to love each other. I mean, we already do love each other. Let's just focus on that instead of focusing on the negative.
Yeah.
Be all right.
Here, here.
If you want to hit us up, skibonepodcast@gmail.com. All right, do you need a pee break?
We could pound this out. I'm good.
All right, cool.
Unless you need a pee break. I could take one if you need one.
I kind of could.
All right, let's go pee break.
All right, cool.
Pee breaking. Yeah.
You want to take the homeless dude?
I'll take the homeless guy. That works for me.
All right, perfect.
Dude, I got to send you up some goodies too.
I still got to send you your blanket from Ski Utah.
All right, you send me the blanket. I'll send you some goodies from down here.
Perfect. I got your blanket from Ski Utah, and I have the Holiday Valley hat for you.
Nice. That Ski Utah blanket actually is really so. The other one that I brought back, I gave it to Bodie because he liked it. I was like, I barely use anything. If he wants it to sleep, go right ahead. He carries that thing. He's like he's like Linus with that blanket.
Huh.
So he'll carry it with him whenever he's in the house. He always has it with him. And in the morning, he gets up and he puts it on and he like comes out and sits down. He sits on the couch and I'm sitting there and he'll sit there. And there's one corner of the blanket that he rubs. Kind of like, remember Mark used to have the puppy tail?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that on the edge of the blanket. And he's rubbed it like almost clean. Like it's almost like just bald.
Wow.
Yeah. So he loves that blanket. So
Yeah, it's sitting there wrapped up right here on the couch. So just have to get it up to you. Yeah, Benjamin, we have two of them on the couch upstairs, and he calls it the cozy blankie. He loves that thing.
Those things are cozy AF.
Yep.
That's very cool.
All right, cool. So good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
All right, cool. All right, now it's time to go under the ropes. Mario, kick us off.
All right. So, well, one of the things we found was that there is a homeless man making use of Berlin rooftops for shelter. And this is Berlin, Vermont.
I thought Berlin, Germany initially.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
And then I read the article and was like, oh, Berlin, Vermont.
Yeah. And then, and then I saw Berlin, Vermont. And I'm like, oh, did they mean Burlington? I had to reread. So yeah, it was but anyway, so there's a specific Staples in Cherry Hill Plaza in Burlington, where people have noticed there's a homeless man using the store to sleep on the roof. So they said that they're saying people wouldn't go up on the roof because of the heat, because those flat top roofs are it's all tar and tar paper, so it's like it absorbs heat, like all the asphalt that they put up there. It's like the sun hits it, it just makes it really hot up there. And they're saying that they got several, first they got a call, and they didn't think anything of it, and they heard other complaints and calls about a man in his 20s or 30s who sets up camps right up there near the AC units. And they're saying he actually uses the power from the AC unit for if he needs to charge stuff or whatever. I'm like, that's pretty wild if you think about it. So I think he's Batman. He's the Montpellier Batman. He could be
It's like one of those like Survivor Man, or those guys who are out in the middle of Alaska. I mean, really, it's pretty impressive that he's doing this. And you know what? This could actually be like a new level of like backcountry winter ski bum.
Backcountry bum.
Back roofs. Your back bum.
That, or it may be Bernie Sanders up there. I don't know.
You think Bernie's going on a roof? Come on, he's like 5 houses.
That's true. Bernie's not going anywhere. He owns the Staples.
Yeah, seriously.
But maybe he's crazy enough to live on the roof. I don't know.
I mean, this is such a weird thing, but I love how the one employee is like, I would never even go up there, let alone sleep up there.
But honestly, like, think about like the space, and then think about how much like space there is up there on the roof, right? You could say every town, the Staples in every town has to house homeless people on the top. Like, that would be perfect.
Well, I know a lot of the big superstores are trying to find a way to utilize that space.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think some of the Walmarts were doing, not all of them, but I think they were testing out putting greenhouses on top there, so they actually grow some food and then sell it in the store. Which, I mean, look, like if you do like a Google map and look at the satellite view and look at all that space up there on those massive superstores or shopping malls.
Yeah. I mean, big cities are doing it on top of the big buildings now too.
Well, on small buildings they're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. If you think about it, like on top of our roofs, we haven't put anything. Like, we build these big, gigantic, enormous buildings. And then that last thing, it's like, okay, here's the roof. Here's to keep water out. Maybe a helipad, maybe, a lot of, water towers, some chillers for the AC. And that's it. It's just a lot of equipment up there and really nothing. So, and it's facing the sun. So why wouldn't you eventually, I think people are going to say, let's grow some shit up there.
Man, if you don't have solar panels up there, you got to be using that space for growing something.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the freaking city. Don't you want any fresh air? Like, really? It's the only way you're going to get it.
Yeah. Just grow weed up there.
Grow weed. That's what I'm saying.
Who's going to bust you? Who can smell it? Who can see it?
Hey, if you work in this building, you get weed from the rooftop. Everybody's happy about the harvest, right?
Perhaps they're already doing that.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I know if I hit the lottery and I set up a company, that's the first thing I'm going to do. Any weed grown on the roof, you guys get to keep. That'd be the most profitable roof.
All right, and we got one final story here in the good old under the rope section for this week, and that is our friend Banksy.
Banksy
is back, and he had a new coronavirus-inspired artwork appearing on the tube.
Ah, that's right. You got to do this in English.
That's right, because
the Queen's English.
You didn't do the accent properly when we were talking about the indoor ski resort.
I might have been. you can't even critique it because it was so horrible.
Here comes my terrible British accent. Banksy has returned to the London Underground with a piece of encouraging people to wear a face mask. A
Would that be where the tube? That's the tube, right?
tube. A video posted on his Instagram page shows a man believed to be the enigmatic artist disguised as a professional cleaner. The accents are like shifting all over the planet with each sentence. He could be seen ordering passengers away as he gets to work, stenciling rants around the inside of the carriage.
Oh my god, you sound like Igor. Master, what can I get for you? It's fucked up. I don't know.
Transport for London said the app was removed some days ago in line with a strict anti-graffiti policy.
Graffiti policy.
The work, called If You Don't Mask, You Don't Get, features a number of rats in pandemic-inspired poses and wearing face masks.
I think you switch right into like New York, Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn at the end of that one.
One rodent stenciled on a circle line train appears to be sneezing, while another is shown spraying antibacterial gel. The artist's name is also daubed across the driver's door on the train.
Damn.
So there you go. There's your shitty British accent with Brian. Now, the best part of the video, at the end of the video, the words "I get locked down" appear on the side of a station wall before a train's doors close to reveal the phrase, "But I get up again," and Chumbawamba's 1997 song "Tub Dumping" kicks in.
Ah, there we go.
There
All right.
go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get knocked down and then get up again.
Yeah. So this is on Banksy's Instagram page. It's worth checking out. It's pretty cool. He's just, I mean, the balls on this fucking guy. Just walk on there.
So I wonder if anybody's gonna find his. So as an artist, right? You want your work to be known, which is great. But at some point, isn't he gonna want to take credit for it, or I don't know.
Dude, I think he's at this point, like he's so big, like the fact that they just remove it the next day, like he doesn't even care. You know?
So if you're a famous artist, do you swim in the circle? You know, are there some people that swim in the circles where they actually have met him or worked with him, or because usually artists like to collaborate or talk to each other, or at least they know who's who in the art world, from what it seems, right?
Yeah. Well, didn't we talk about this a few months ago? We actually looked up like who do they think Banksy really is, and there was like two guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which would make sense instead of being one fictitious person out of multiple people would make sense, but then it's more of a movement than an artist, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. I mean, I like it.
Dude, I love that we still don't officially know who he is. And I want it to stay that way.
It is really cool. So he does these big, his stuff. He doesn't even have to do big stuff, but it like gets a big attention, right? So for some weird reason, I think I had a weird ass dream the other night, and I was thinking of, and I woke up thinking of the artist Christo. Remember him? So he used to cover a lot of shit. You did the Bridges. You went to the Bridges thing that was in New York when he was in New York.
Waterfalls, he did, yeah.
Waterfalls. That's what it was. Yeah. It wasn't Bridges. It was Waterfalls. So I had this weird ass dream, and it was something where this building was getting ripped because there was this wind going, and like this flag or piece of building was sticking out, and it like brought the building down. It was weird. And then for some reason I thought about Christo when he covered the buildings in a hurricane, and the stuff that was on the buildings tore the building. Just weird shit. I don't know why.
I think I need to get stencils made up for us so we can like just spray paint our logo all over the place.
Oh, yeah, every scary should have a stencil, and then we could start sending it out. We could do like a.
I was thinking we should do it like on the snow. We'll get some like some environmentally safe spray paint, and you can just spray it underneath the lifts. People look down like, "What the hell is that?"
You just got to go to the office, man. Beats,
Beats, right?
Beats. It's all red, but it's Beats.
Beets. Perfect.
Beets,
Fat beets.
bees, and bears. Yeah, I watched too much of The Office.
We'll get Aunt Jemima, mix it with beets, and then we'll use that.
So it'll be an Aunt Jemima form in beet juice.
Beet Jemima.
That would not be good. That would
Not be.
be considered. We would offend too many people. Then we want to admit to offending on purpose. Let's put it that way.
What about Mrs. Beeterworth?
Mrs. Beaterworth.
What about Beet Cabin? Ooh, I like Beet Cabin.
Beet Cabin.
It sounds like it could be like a club. Where are you going tonight? Going to the Beet Cabin.
See, every place should have a log cabin, though. Every ski mountain, there should be a law passed where every ski mountain has a log cabin somewhere on the property. I think that should be, that's part of Americana. Should be part of it.
I think we should buy the DIY network. Do it yourself.
Dude,
yurt construction.
So I've been watching that one they have on there, the renovation island, where the couple is renovating a resort on an island in like I forget, I don't even know where the island's off of, but it's beautiful where they are. And it's this rundown, the place is just like there's termites, there's dry rot, there's a lot of crap that they got to renovate. And that's why the company, probably left it. They were like, it's end of life, or they went out of business, and they were like, nobody bought it. So they're trying to renovate it. We got to do that with ski places. That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. And there's so many of these old ski resorts that are just kind of sitting around there.
Flip this yurt, we'll call it.
Flip this yurt.
Oh, flip this yurt. The other one, pimp my ride, but pimp my yurt.
Pimp my yurt.
Pimp my yurt. Okay, we got the yurt here, and it's pretty empty. It's just like a teepee. It's just like a tent. I want like some sound in here and like some TVs out of shit.
Yo, dog, I heard you like fondue.
Who's there was a rapper, right? That host
Exhibit, yeah.
Exhibit. That's who it was, yeah.
Yo, dog, we got a fondue pit right here for you.
That's right. We got a TV, an Xbox, and a fondue pit. Like, what the fuck? And a hookah. Like
it's a fondue cauldron.
Oh, you don't put gas in this. This is where the hookah is. This is where the bong is. Oh man. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think Pimp My Yurt could be
Pimp My Yurt.
Pimp My Yurt.
Pimp My Yurt. Like people jump out of like a snowmobile. Like, hey, we're here to pimp your yurt.
I already see the t-shirt.
Yeah, I think we got to do it like it would have to be international though. You got to have like some crazy people from around the world doing it. Like, yeah. Pimp My Yurt.
We just like go yurt to yurt.
Yurt to yurt.
All over the place. Going in the Alps, going to the Andes, going to the Rockies.
I think what we got to do is we got to target rich people that have mountain estates and say, you don't have a yurt on it. Why don't we go out and we'll pimp your yurt? And they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll either put up these dope ass yurts or we'll just like fix up the shitty ass ghetto yurt that they have out there.
We'll go in there and be like, yo, this yurt is whack.
This yurt is whack. We gotta have a smoke machine. We gotta have smoke. We gotta have, there's gonna be guests in there. It's gonna like, yeah, this could happen. I think that could work.
It's like, everyone will have like a grow room in there, like a cliche, like yeah, they put a grow room in every one of these yurts.
That's what they do. Oh, that's a Ski Bum podcast one. Yeah, that's.
It's got.
I know those guys.
Yeah.
Does it have a grow room? How'd you know? Like on the phone, like how'd you know? Is the grow room like 2,000 square feet? Yes, it is.
And they use the bong to heat the fondue. We know how it works.
How big is your place? It's about 1,000 square feet. How big's the grow room? 2,000 square feet. Yeah, that's the Ski Bums.
It's like they do the exact same thing every time. Why do they have 6 seasons of this show?
That's right. Dude, it is like the Deadliest Catch. It's that's all they do. The same goddamn thing. We could be doing the yurt thing for like 20 years.
Like the Fast and the Furious.
That's right. Well, because we got a lot with a yurt. We got like, we could highlight flooring. We could highlight roofs. We get solar panels.
The young and the yurtless.
Young and the yurtless. Restaurant yurts. You got bathroom yurts.
I'm telling you, the Do It Yourself channel could have just a whole series of programs that are yurt related.
Instead of DIY, it's DIYY. DI your yurt.
Do it yourself.
Do it your yurt. That's right.
We can have just imagine that whole just
DIY. Do your yurt.
Channels. A channel full of yurt related shows.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't tune in for that?
Channel 1, fancy yurt. Channel 2, gangster yurt. Channel 3, summer yurt. We could have a summer yurt on the beach.
Yanking it with the yurt dashians.
Yankee yurts. There you go.
Yankee yurts. Yes, we went back in time and Ron Guidry decided he wanted to build a yurt in Louisiana.
That's right.
It was a little weird, but we worked with him to make it happen.
But we did it. Oh, yeah. You could have like fancy ass like Hampton yurts.
Telling you, I think yurts are the next big thing.
I think we got to patent like a yurt system. Almost like, you know how they have like the little modular
prefab yurts.
Prefab yurt. It's like the prefab whatchamacallit, the sheds. You know how they have those? Just
Exactly.
Like boom.
Amish, whatever company. Those like Amish
oh, the Amish fireplace guys?
No, like I know my my mother-in-law got one of those like Amish like prefab sheds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, because I remember the was the Amish fireplace was the big deal, right?
Hmm.
The electric fireplace you plug in, but it was like nice.
Whoa.
Wood.
It's an Amish fireplace with electric that you
Yes.
plug in. How not Amish is that?
They do the outside. They do the outer wood stuff, and somebody else makes it. They do the commercial is like makes you want to buy one. I think Rem got one. Our buddy Rem has one. He's like, look, remember the Amish? And you know how he explains stuff. He's like, remember here's the Amish thing, blah, blah. I'm like, I know what you're talking about because I've seen the commercial. Yeah. I'm like, I've seen the commercial. Otherwise, I'd have a whole thing that I got to ask you now. So.
I think we can work with Airstream and have like a portable yurt, like a yurt on wheels.
Ooh. Well, you got to have the pop-up yurt. That's your regular party one.
You know, like everyone's doing the Sprinter vans. They're converting them to campers.
Yeah.
I think we need like a yurt mobile, like the Wienermobile, but a yurt mobile.
Boom. Instead of shooting out shirts, we'll shoot out yurts. Feel like a fucking harpoon gun. It says yurt coming your way. Watch out, yurt incoming.
We got a yurter.
Boom. The yurt just appears.
She's a
tables, cheese and crackers, little fire going.
Fondue pit.
That would be impressive. If we could shoot
pit.
it out of the air, have it land and assemble the yurt, put the fireplace on, cheese and crackers assembled, everything boom, right where it should be. Just like the cartoons.
Fondue pit heated with a bong, of course.
Honestly, when I heard about SpaceX landing that rocket like straight back down, like the booster, like reverse on the lot.
Coolest thing ever.
Coolest shit ever. I thought that was something out of cartoons. I'm like, that's never going to happen in our lifetime. So the yurt thing could happen in our lifetime if Elon Musk is involved.
Oh,
I think we Elon Musk branded yurt delivery
X.
system. Yurt X.
Yurt X.
Yurt X. I love it.
Yurt
I'm going to patent that tomorrow. Yurt X. If I patented and copyrighted everything we talk about when we say it on the podcast afterwards, I would have a really long list of shit that I'm like, what did we talk about?
Dude, I look at my notebook sometimes. I'm like, what the hell were we talking about?
Oh, and I'll circle stuff like patent right away. Like, and I circle it like it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I still have to watch Black Sails. I saw you talked about that a few months ago.
Nice. See, I don't keep my notes usually. I destroy them. I eat them. Actually, I shred them and then I eat them as spaghetti. They're really good.
Yeah.
But Yurt X, I like it.
X. I like it too.
There's got to be different levels of yurts, though. If we're going with Elon, we got to do it just like the Tesla. You got your basic, your front wheel drive yurt, your double wheel drive yurt, and your self driving yurt.
Dual motor yurt. Yeah.
Self-driving option yurt. Oh, we can have mobile yurts?
Well, we talked about that with the kind of like the Airstream.
Yeah. I like
Total
that.
yurt. Yeah.
So we could actually make a series on Netflix about making meth in a yurt that's portable, kind of like an Airstream. That's a genius idea. I don't know why we didn't think about that before.
Breaking yurt.
Breaking yurt. Oh, see?
Could be a bunch of mafiosos living in New Jersey, like the Pranos.
Yeah, some guy, hey, somebody walking the yurt, you think it looks like it's Genghis Khan. No, it's, hey, where's the gabagoots? I gotta sit down. Yeah, let's eat. Everybody, let's eat. Oh man. The gabagool.
Yeah, it's all about the gabagool, right?
Yeah, what can you imagine the yurt if like so yurt was Genghis Khan, that was Mongolia. What is that now? Just Asia? Like what part of Asia?
Part of China, right? I mean, Mongolia is still Mongolia. Like it's not like what Mongolia was.
Yeah, but Mongolia is part of China.
Right. Well, no, it's still a separate country, but
separate country.
I think they're kind of like China's bitch, though.
You're from Mongolia. Oh, that's China's bitch, right?
Like, well, have you ever met someone? They're like, oh, like where are you from? Oh, we're Mongolian. No one ever says that. I've never met a fucking Mongolian. I've met someone from every goddamn Asian country except Mongolia.
You just say, hey, Brian, here's your new boss at work. Oh, you're from Mongolia? Oh, that's China's bitch.
Just China's little bitch.
God damn. Well, nice to meet you too.
Think about it though. You probably met someone from every goddamn Asian country, not Mongolia. I don't know, people from China, Japan.
I've heard of Mongolia
Laos,
a lot,
Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines. No one. I've never met anyone from Mongolia.
I don't think I've ever met anybody from Indonesia. Philippines, a lot of people from Philippines.
But you know what? I think most of us have Genghis Khan's DNA in us.
I know. What do they say? 1 out of 6 or 5 people?
2. 1 out of 2 people.
1 out of 2?
That's basically not real. That's
unreal.
That's lying.
No, it's close to like 1 out of 4 or 5 or something like that.
Something crazy, yeah.
It's like, what has his DNA in there?
Like that dude just, yeah.
Yeah, he just plowed a lot of people.
Yep.
He either plowed you or he killed you. So
choose your poison.
If you're a dude,
he was probably banging.
You're saying, please kill me.
Genghis Khan didn't give a fuck. And he goes, vagina, asshole, whatever. I'm running all this shit.
He was a scary man.
House.
I book on tape the Genghis Khan thing. What the hell was the name of that book?
50 Shades of Grey?
No. It was like it was like Genghis Khan from like the history of Genghis Khan or something like that. Really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like the little woman and the little guy to start like going through my Audible, but there's some shit I'm like, oh, you guys wouldn't get that. Like Ready Player One, they wouldn't fully get. Like
that book was so good.
A whole bunch of shit like that I listened to is like science fiction. They would be.
Do you imagine like Genghis Khan like in corporate America today? They're taking him into HR like every other day. Like we love your energy, but we just don't like you killing and raping your fellow employees all the time.
Yeah, but you know what? All these stories that come out in the court cases, these people exist in real life. You know?
Yeah.
They still think it happens. And that's just this country. We don't even see the shit that happens elsewhere.
Yeah, like Canada.
I mean, that's a whole other level of porn. I'm joking.
Genghis Khan.
But no, I mean, like Europe and stuff like that, there's some rich ass people out there that are doing whatever the fuck they want, you know?
Eyes wide shut.
Yeah. They're like, you know, corporate, I don't care about corporate. I'm rich.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein.
Fuck Island.
Well, they're going after the girl, right? That worked with him.
What's her name? Jizzbag something?
Jizzbag. You would be great for the judge. Oh, yes. And how do you plead, Jizzbag? Oh, I'm sorry. I mispronounced your name.
Jizzlane.
Jizzlania. Jizzbagia.
those people are vile. I hope the worst thing imaginable happened to them.
Well, I stay away from the news a lot, and I heard part of the Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm like, I gotta hear more about this shit because
They
I
found
don't
her
know.
in New Hampshire too, which is crazy.
So what happened? Like they were looking for her, or
They've been looking for her for a while, and they said that she was living up there since at least December. She bought this estate with cash, like over $1 million through an
bam.
LLC. And the best thing was, I was reading an article in the Boston Globe, and they were talking about they found her in this little town in New Hampshire, and her neighbor didn't even like recognize her. Because again,
Wow.
it's giant plots of land and people doing their thing. And the best thing was the neighbor's like, yeah, I didn't really know, and it makes you wonder like how many other people are just hiding around in this area.
Yeah. Like,
Everyone kind of keeps to themselves up there.
yeah.
Not everyone's a goddamn little freaking chatty Cathy.
And that was the perfect way to move the cops on to someone else so they don't investigate the serial killers they were just talking to. See, that's
I'm
what happens.
surprised she hasn't committed suicide yet.
Yeah, right. She's like starting to talk about stuff. I don't know. I gotta look into it.
I don't know if that
Stuff I gotta research.
That filthy pig just spills the beans.
Well, there was another girl that came out and said like that girl made her do this like outlandish shit, right?
There's that creepy prince. What the hell's that guy?
Yeah, no, but the girl was saying that the other girl that they captured now was running the show for Jeffrey Epstein while he wasn't running it and was making her do like she was like the strong. It's like the Slumdog Millionaire, like the Slumdog. She was like the Slumdog, and would like make people do shit. Like, yeah, yeah. I heard part of something on the news, and I was like, that's fucked up.
These fucking people, they're disgusting.
Yep.
Kids, man, it's the most vile thing. Set them on fire in public.
Just let them go free in public at a time released to the public and a date released to the public. Just say, we're going to let him go free. And you got, he's out in the world free. Do whatever you want to do. We're going to let him go in this park at this time. But like the fucking Warriors, try to get out, bitch.
Parents and victims now. Yeah.
That's right. Try to get out of the park now, motherfucker. Escape from New York. That ain't gonna really happen, Kurt Russell. Come on. That movie, Kurt Russell's gunned down in like 2 minutes. It's a 2-minute movie. It's not even a short. It's a goddamn commercial. It's a commercial for Smith & Wesson. That's all it is. Goddamn.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, wrap up the old podcast. Nice little. See, it was a good thing we took that pee break because we could actually have some free thinking going on this last session here.
We did that, and the weed helped.
So the filler fruitarita.
That's right.
Thank you everyone so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We got a shop, Skibum Podcast, skibumpodcast.com/shop. We're on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our favorite untapped Skibum Podcast. I am at Skibum Brian on Untapped. We are also on your favorite podcasting apps where you can subscribe and rate us. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. We're also on YouTube, SoundCloud. Check us out. Thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. And we have a really, really, really special, awesome interview coming up next week.
Coming up. Yeah.
So, big fat teaser. We think you're going to really
big time.
enjoy.
Bigly.
It's going to be awesome.
Big time, huge.
Tremendous. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay falutin'.
See ya.